Hi, and welcome to Stamp with Jini. Today I'm going to share with you this card that I created using the Vibrant Vases stamp set. This stamp set you can find in our Occasions catalog, and it coordinates with our Vase Builder Punch, so it's a great value. So let me set this aside and we'll get started. I'm going to start with my piece of Whisper White paper, which is the focal point of this card, and I'm going to start by stamping my vase. I'm going to use the solid image first. I'm using it in Bermuda Bay, and then I am going to stamp the detail image on top of that. And this stamp set is pretty easy to use. So you could use your Stamparatus if you prefer, but I find this is easy enough. Now that I've got the Bermuda Bay two-step portion done, I'm going to move to my flowers, and I'm going to stamp the flowers on top of the vase using Tuxedo Black. Then I'm going to come back in with my Poppy Parade and stamp the flowers. And I'm going to take the lemon lime twist, and I am going to do the leaves. And on this stamp you'll want to make sure you're lining up both the bottom leaves and the top leaves so that they're in place. And then I'm going to take the Tuxedo Black, and I am going to stamp my sentiment above that. I've got my focal point, so I am going to bring in my Whisper White panel for the inside of the card, and I am going to take this little flower image and stamp it on the bottom in the tuxedo again. And then I'm going to come back with my Poppy Parade, line it up and stamp. And you'll have to excuse me, the camera is somewhat in the way, so it makes it harder to line things up. And the lemon lime twist leaves again. And so I've got my inside panel finished, and I can set this aside, put my ink away, and start assembling. Okay, I'm going to take my lemon lime twist card base, and I'm going to score that at 4 1/4 and use my bone folder to get a nice tight crease. And then my next layer is going to be this Lace Dynamic Embossing Folder, and I hope you can see this. Now the dynamic lace is one of our deep embossing folders, and so I find with these embossing folders it's better to use a liquid adhesive. It'll get in all those little nooks and crannies and really hold this piece on tight. So I've added some liquid adhesive here on the back, and I am placing it on my card front. Now if it bothers you that these dynamic folders shrink your cardstock a bit, you could do a 1/4 sheet and then cut it down to the size you want. The next piece I'm going to bring in is my powder pink layer, and I'm going to add adhesive to the back of that again. And once again I'm using the multi-purpose because of the deep pattern here. I'm going to attach that to the front of my card, and then I'm going to take my focal point, add some Stampin' Dimensionals to the back, remove the backings. And if you have a hard time with these, take your bone folder and simply score that down the center. It'll flip those little pieces up so they're easier to grab. And then adhere that to your card front. And at this point I can add my inside that I had done earlier. And isn't it wonderful, our Whisper White cardstock is thick enough that if you make a mistake you can just flip it over and do it again. There you go. So let me show you the original again. If you'd like any of these products, feel free to stop by my online store. You can get there from my blog, Stamp with Jini. Thanks for joining me.